Look at the trajectory of your career, the people you've chosen to keep close, and even the specific things that make you feel guilty. Now, ask yourself a difficult question. How much of this did you actually choose? Most of us are operating on a borrowed life. We are running a piece of societal software that was installed in our minds long before we were old enough to evaluate it. Uncovering an actual identity requires a forensic audit of these mental files. You have to find where the programming came from and determine what needs to be deleted. Finding out who you are begins by identifying every part of you that was designed by someone else. This software is compiled from 3 primary sources that overlap to manufacture our default settings. It starts with the mirror of childhood. Along with their DNA, your parents pass down their unhealed fears and their specific anxieties about the world. If they lived in a state of financial scarcity, you likely grew up viewing money as a source of terror rather than a tool. You learned what love looks like by watching them, absorbing their relationship patterns as your own baseline before you were old enough to question them. Then there is the factory. The modern school system was scaled up during the Industrial Revolution with a specific goal in mind. It was optimized to produce workers who could follow instructions without friction. You were taught that taking risks led to failure, and that progress only happened when you were given permission by an authority figure. Finally, we encounter the echo of media. Every time you scroll, an algorithm reinforces a narrow definition of what a successful life looks like. When you feel a sudden urge to buy a specific car or look a certain way, it's hard to tell if that desire is yours, or if a screen has repeated it back to you 10,000 times until you mistook the echo for your own voice. These sources compound to overwrite your innate curiosity, making your default reactions to the world almost entirely derivative. Slicing through this noise requires moving past your thoughts and listening to your physical reactions. Take a major belief you hold, like the idea that you need a high-status job to be happy, and say it out loud. A belief that was installed by someone else usually manifests as a tight, constricted pressure in the throat or stomach. It's the weight of a should. An authentic desire, however, feels like a warm expansion in the chest. When you force yourself into a role that doesn't fit, your nervous system interprets that cognitive dissonance as a physical threat. This internal stress response acts as a lie detector, signaling that you are trying to process foreign code. Identifying these reactions is only the diagnostic phase. To actually clear the signal, you have to actively remove the inputs. Start by auditing your major life goals. For each one, try to pinpoint the exact moment or person that first convinced you it was important. If you find an expectation with no verifiable personal origin, you've found a system default. These are the beliefs you have to stop feeding. Move from the internal to the external by practicing a selective refusal of small societal expectations. Say no to the social events you attend only out of habit. Ignore the trends you don't actually care about. You will likely feel a sudden surge of guilt. That sensation is just the old psychological code attempting to reinstall itself by convincing you that your autonomy is a mistake. Finally, commit to a window of total silence. 48 hours without podcasts, music, or feeds. Silencing these external voices creates the necessary bandwidth for your own personality to finally be heard. This process is intimidating because it leads to an identity vacuum. You will arrive at a point where you aren't quite sure who you are. This blank canvas provides the only space where an original life can actually be written. A messy, unpolished, rough draft of yourself carries a weight that a high-resolution copy of someone else's expectations never will.